Alone by Edgar Allan Poe. From childhood's hour I have not been as others were, I've not seen as others saw. I could not bring my passions from a common spring, from the same source I have not taken my sorrow. I could not awaken my heart to joy at the same tone, and all I loved alone. Then, in my childhood, in the dawn of a most stormy life, was drawn from every depth of good and ill the mystery which binds me still. From the torrent or the fountain, from the red cliff of the mountain, from the sun that around me rolled in its autumn tint of gold, from the lightning in the sky as it passed me flying by, from the thunder and the storm, and the cloud that took the form when the rest of heaven was blue, of a demon in my view. Thanks so much for the donations, the bits there. Everyone gets a Paradox coin, thanks to Ian. Montreal, 1976. Founded as far back as the 1800s in Quebec, the Lys Noire has brought together some of the most powerful and richest corporate magnates in the province. Together they have formed a shadowy cabal who have regulated and controlled Quebec society for over 200 years. They were behind La Révolution Tranquille, the quiet revolution of the 1960s, which led to the massive secularization of Quebec. They have fueled sovereignist sentiments while not allowing this movement to succeed simply to maintain power. For them, Quebec is a business, and they control it as such. They are the shareholders in the corporation of Quebec society, an experiment in the corporatization of sociopolitics. They use their money and power to back projects they believe will help them guide society in the direction they wish to see it evolve. One such project is the Pyramid Project, headed by Dr. Mueller and Dr. Shaw, a life mage whose research focuses on blending magic and computer technology to develop new methods of curing psychological and neurological illnesses such as schizophrenia and manias and epilepsy. In 1974, under the guise of building a new swimming stadium for the upcoming 1976 Olympics, the company financed the Pyramid Project, which saw the building of a research laboratory in Midtown. A blend of computer technology and the occult, the project aimed to build a center for deep occult-based research into the nascent world of the internet and to provide Dr. Shaw with a laboratory for her experiments. The supercomputer called Arcadia is the centerpiece of the laboratory, which was built to resemble a massive underground inverted pyramid beneath a 2.5 million square feet industrial site at the junction of Highway 15 and 40. Now, on September 13, 1976, the 26 employees inside the pyramid, 23 women and 3 men, have completely vanished. Vince, Cassidy, you are sitting in identical rooms. Everything is stark white. The table, the chairs you're on, all this hard white plastic, the glare of the lights is this harsh white light. Also, there's a mirror along one wall, and you know there are several people observing this particular interrogation. You are still groggy from waking up, quite in surprise as a number of security personnel from the Pyramid Project busted into your home or your motel, wherever you were staying, and grabbed you and hauled you. You felt groggy as if you'd overslept. Still not clear exactly where you are, what's going on, what time it is. You know that you had a task, a job to do. You were going somewhere inside a pyramid with some people. Everything else is kind of muddled, unclear. Cassidy, the man standing in front of you, leaning on the table, his sleeves rolled up, is almost nondescript to a fault. He's bland, he looks like every other person you've ever seen. He's just this strange, faceless entity that is now questioning you. Come on. Come on, Cassie, you got to work with me here. You got to work with me. What happened? You got to tell me what happened. If you don't tell me what happened, it's game over for everyone. What happened? What happened in the pyramid?
First of all, don't call me Cassie.
I'll call you whatever you want. You want me to call you Princess Anne? All right, Princess Anne. Whatever you like. But you got to give me something here. You got to give me something. What happened in the pyramid?
It's Dr. KILLBRIDE, and I don't know.
That's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it. Why can't you answer these simple questions? Look, let's start over, okay? Let's start over. What's your name?
Dr. CASSIDY KILLBRIDE.
What do you do for the company?
I work with occult technologies.
And what happened to Dr. Shaw? Tell us what happened to Dr. Shaw.
Sir, if I knew, if I had any inkling in the back of my mind, any recollection, do you really think that I would be here sitting under this god-awful fluorescent lighting and talking to you?
In the next room over, Vincent, look, I just got some information from my colleague that Cassie person's throwing you under the bus. Look, you got to cooperate with me here. You got to work with me. You got to tell me what happened. What went down in there? What went down in the pyramid?
3,180.
Ooh. Okay, what is that?
Those are the amount of seconds that you have wasted of my time since this interrogation, because I have told you already, I do not know anything.
Look, it's not complicated.
3,180.
Let's start at the beginning. What's your name?
Vincent Cassel.
And what do you do for the company, Vincent?
I am a nuclear engineer for this company.
And what happened to Dr. Shaw? We need to know what happened to Dr. Shaw. Where is Dr. Shaw?
This is the same question you asked me 3,196 seconds ago, and the answer is still the same. I do not know.
Why won't you cooperate? Why won't you tell us?
What else do you want me to do? You want me to make up an excuse, something? If I knew something, I would give you something, but I know nothing.
And at the same time, in both interrogation rooms, the men interrogating you. All right, look, let's start over from the beginning. 3 days ago. Lena. Describe for me, if you will, your apartment, where you live.
My apartment's cozy. It's small. It's kind of vanilla would probably be a good word for it. Cream colored walls, basic paintings, often depicting flowers, regular furniture, a large bookshelf that's filled with books of all different widths and colors. It's pretty plain, but Lena likes to keep it that way. It's just easier.
Your phone rings.
I answer it.
The voice on the other end is a voice you haven't heard for almost a year, but a voice you know very well. Hi, Lena. How have you been? It's been a while.
How are you?
I've been better, but problems are of a professional nature. I'm personally doing quite well.
What do you need?
A great many things. I think the question you're asking is, what do I need from you?
Yes.
A great many things also. Have you missed me?
Yes. To admit, yes, a lot. Am I going to see you again?
We can discuss that. I've missed you also. However, as pleasant as that sounds, I'm calling about an incident.
An incident?
Something has occurred. Montreal. There's
Okay.
a facility there. Something strange has happened. Something that is strange enough that some people think you should go and take a look for us.
I see. Sure. What are the details?
You'll be receiving shortly by courier a plane ticket and some money to get you there. Time is of the essence. You'll be briefed once you reach the facility itself. Do you know Dr. Shaw? Dr. Ailey Shaw?
No, not off the top of my head.
She's in charge. She's the one you'll be reporting to.
I see.
Are you ready to go?
Yes. Yes, I could use a change of pace, that's for sure.
Good. Can you do one thing for me before you go, though? Personal favor.
Yes.
Can you reach up and gently put your hand around your throat?
Okay.
Doesn't that feel better?
Yes.
We'll talk soon. Glad to
We'll
hear your
talk
voice
soon.
again.
Me too.
The line goes dead.
I hang up the phone, rip my hand from my throat. It's shaking. God, am I really doing this again? I guess so. I guess so. And I start to pack my bags.
In Montreal, Dr. Shaw. You've been called in. The information is coming in quickly. It's almost overwhelming. 26 people missing completely. The doors sealed. Arcadia not responding. You were away for a weekend of rest and relaxation, which is what you call going away to work somewhere that's not your office. You find yourself in Dr. Julian Muir's office. Dr. Muir is your partner in this endeavor. He handles a lot of the day-to-day stuff. He interfaces with the people who provide money. He basically runs the facility while you focus on the research. And as you're sitting across from his desk, across his desk from him rather, still reeling from all this information that's been just lumped at you, he says, "You built this, Ailey. It's for all intents and purposes your child. Now it appears to be misbehaving, and what I need to know is, can you bring it back in line?
Absolutely, I can. This is why I should never leave the city. Yes. What
Now,
happened?
this did not happen because you were away. You were in dire need of a break, Ailey. But it did happen, and it is happening, and now we have to deal with it. The people who control the money we use to build this, and the money that we need to see your experiments come to fruition, they're watching. They're very discreet people. They don't want any sort of attention. You have to fix this, and you have to fix this quickly, and you have to fix it quietly.
Of course. Of course.
Now, do you have any inkling as to why Arcadia might have gone offline? And do you think that it's possible that Arcadia is responsible for this?
Responsible? It's hard to say. This is the most advanced technology we've ever worked with. Anything could happen, really. But no, I don't think that my work, that Arcadia, would be responsible for everything that happened. It could have been user error. Any person in that building could have done something to make everything go wrong.
Well, we know for certain there was no one unauthorized. The last reports we have from Arcadia account for only the 26 people that were supposed to be there over the weekend. Which is also a problem because now it appears none of them are there.
Oh, dear. You see Dr. Shaw begin, her hands shake a bit more as she grabs her temples. These small little tics that she has when she gets more and more anxious. Fixing the hair, pulling it back. The nervousness seeping in.
Seeing this, Muir gets up, walks around, sits down on his desk in front of him. Ailey, it's gonna be all right. You're brilliant. You've put a lot of work into this computer, Arcadia. You practically built its brain. It will respond to you. You'll fix this, Ailey. I need you now to stay focused, stay in control. The people who are coming are professionals, and they will be looking to you for guidance, and they will expect you to know what you're doing and to make them feel like you are in charge.
Yes. You're right. Thank you, Julian. I will make sure that this gets handled. And we won't have to worry about this in a couple of days.
I'm not worried. The people who fund us, though, have a vested interest in this, and they've agreed to help you. They've sent someone to assist you, and he looks up and you hear the door behind you open. Someone comes into the room and the door closes. I believe you know Mr. Sincere. And when you turn and look, you see Luke there. Standing as always, ramrod straight, his hair coiffed just right, his beard a new thing. Dark and glistening. He stands there looking as fit and trim and as ready for anything as usual. Dr. Shaw.
Luke. So formal.
I decided that the circumstances probably required a little bit more formality.
Of course.
It's nice to see you again, though.
You as well.
Muir says, I understand that you two have met before. I trust that everything will be fine, that there's no issues here.
Oh, no issues at all. Everything will be fine. I'm grateful to have the help of Luke.
Very good. The rest of the team, I'm told, has arrived. I will gather them and bring them to the meeting room. If the two of you want to take a few moments to get your stories straight, and we'll see you down in the meeting room as soon as you are ready.
No need. I will grab my things, grab my notes, and let's get everybody together.
As you stand up, you fumble a little bit in your anxious anxiety, and one of your little notebooks in your stack slips and falls to the ground. Before it hits the ground, Luke has snatched it out of the air. He hands it over to you with just the barest hint of a smile.
You see Dr. Shaw also smile.
I take it this is yours.
Yes, how clumsy of me. She takes it from him.
Very well then, says Dr. Muir. Come along. Luke motions for you to go ahead. The three of you walk down a long hallway and find yourselves arriving into a briefing room. There are three other people there, and let's take this opportunity perhaps to go around and have everyone tell everybody else what their characters look like. And as you step into the room, Dr. Shaw, perhaps you would do us the honors.
Yes, stepping in the room is Dr. Ailey Shaw, and she keeps herself pretty well kempt, well dressed. She is a tall woman, about 5'8", and has dark brunette hair that is currently tied back, and she's dressed very well in a blazer suit with glasses, and walks in with a stack of papers and a pen behind her ear, stepping into the room.
As Dr. Shaw comes into the room, who does she see?
She first looks over and she sees Vince.
Sitting at a table, you would see Vince twiddling with a pen, fidgeting like he is ought to do, because when your brain moves like a mile a minute, it's very hard to sit still. And what you would see is dark-skinned gentleman with a buzz cut shadow fade. He's got waves, of course. He's wearing a turtleneck with a nice gold chain on top of it. It's kind of like a creamish color that's tucked into these like blackish gray slacks, and just wearing sensible dress shoes. And he just makes eye contact as you walk in. Miss Shaw, interesting to see you here.
Ah, Vince. Long time no see.
Long times can get longer.
Thank you, Paranormal Medic, for those gifted sub. We truly appreciate it. It's so kind of you. Thank you very, very much. And where do your eyes go to next, Dr. Shaw?
Then I look over at Cassidy, Dr. Kilgrave.
And seated at the conference table is a woman dressed in an immaculate charcoal grey pantsuit, sensible flat heels, and her dark hair is piled on top of her head in a very neat, very slick French twist. She wears a simple silver chain around her neck. And she's sitting sort of staring into the middle distance. Like, obviously, the mind is spinning. And it actually takes a moment for her to realize that she's being looked at. Just, Dr. Shaw.
Dr. Kilgrave, yes?
Yes. Pleasure.
Lovely to see you. And last but not least, then Ailey looks over to Lena.
From the moment you walked in the room, Lena has been like, not dagger eyes, but just very directly, like pointedly looking at you, almost as if she sees something else about you that is unique. You see a woman dressed like something like myself in a black suit and white blazer, dark hair pulled up with loose front pieces around her face. A very serious face, but not angry or anything, just very focused. And before you walked in, she was probably just picking at her nails, but from the moment you entered and addressed everyone else, she's just been, like, looking at you.
Just so I can get a bit of a dossier of everybody in their specialties, I have a bit of information here, but perhaps each of you could just give me a quick rundown of your skills and specialties.
Well, I'll start. Dr. Shaw, it is a pleasure to meet you. My name is Lena. I am effectively your security detail for this excursion. I don't really know what the details are specifically about what was going on or what we were doing here, but I'm here to just offer your guys' protection.
Dr. Cassidy Kilgrave, specializing in hematology and the occult.
Come on, Ailey. You know me.
Yes.
I am, of course, your technologist.
My favorite nuclear engineer, is that what it is?
I think that's what they call it nowadays.
Yes, of course. Okay, well, we have occult specialty, science, security detail. I do believe we're going to need somebody a bit more on the technology side of things. Dr. Kerr was supposed to be also helping with this.
As you mentioned, Dr. Kerr, you see Luke and Dr. Muir exchange a glance, and Muir looks at you and goes, Dr. Kerr was found dead last night.
Dr. Kerr's dead.
By all evidence from his own hand. In a hotel room.
What?
I'm sorry to have to tell you like this. I didn't know how to approach it, and there was so much going on.
He and I were... We built everything together.
One of the foremost minds in computing technologies in the world.
Yes. Truly.
He'll be sorely missed, and it's not exactly clear yet he did not leave any notes or anything. The police are investigating, and I'm sure by the time you sort out whatever's going on in the pyramid that we'll have more answers concerning Dr. Kerr. But since time is of the essence, and as Muir is talking, Luke comes up to you and just says, "You're right."
You see her composure. Obviously, she was shaken for a moment, but she kind of brings herself back together for a moment. I'll be all right. We have a job to do. This is important.
If you don't mind me asking, Dr. Kerr was supposed to come with us?
Well, his help would be vital in a situation like this, yes.
The facility you are going into, the pyramid, is run by a supercomputer, one of the first of its kind in the world, called Arcadia. The technological aspects of Arcadia were designed by Dr. Kerr, while the brain, if you will, or the personality of Arcadia, the software and the programs running it, were designed by Dr. Shaw. It would have been useful to have Dr. Kerr's expertise on hand. However, I believe that Dr. Shaw's knowledge of the computer will be sufficient, and if ever there is a need for more expert advice, we will try to find someone. But finding someone of that caliber at this short notice within the constraints that we're operating under is a little difficult. Now, if you'll take a look here, I'll tell you what we need you to do. The facility here, the pyramid as we call it, is meant to be a research facility for Dr. Shaw's experiments. Dr. Shaw has been working on developing a form of therapy for people with various psychological and neurological illnesses, such as schizophrenia and manias, that melds the occult and technology, in this case, Arcadia, the computer. We had not yet begun doing any sort of research, as the facility has just barely come online. However, 3 days ago, it became clear that everyone inside, that is 23 women and 3 men, all 26 people working inside the building, had disappeared. We've had...
Pardon me.
I'm sorry?
My apologies. You are telling us that there has been... the people working inside have gone missing alongside one of its creators has died.
Yes, so as you can see, the situation is a little outside the norms.
Interesting.
You could say a little. You could say a lot. What do we mean by disappeared?
They've disappeared. There's nobody inside the building right now. Now, Arcadia sealed the building. The last communications we had with the computer was a message. The message simply said, "Help us." It was followed by a series of beeps, which we figured out were Morse code for SOS. There was nothing for a while, and then last night, there was this, and he presses play. There's a tape recorder on his desk, and he presses play, and you hear this highly digitized voice on the cassette saying, "Dr. Shaw, are you there? Are you there, Dr. Shaw? We need you. We need you. 7373-3737. That's all. That's all we got from them.
Troubling, to say the least.
We've had a stroke of genius, perhaps. Someone recognized the numbers as an ISSN, an International Standard Serial Number. These numbers are used to mark academic papers that are placed into the library system. We pulled the one connected to this number. It brought us to a paper published by one Aurora Klee at the Universitat Bern in Switzerland. This is where it stops making sense to us. We think it might offer a way inside, but at this point we are rather stymied. And he pulls up on, there's a projector, and he clicks a button and a slide comes up. And you see the following. And I'll read it out for the audience, but I've posted it in the chat for you all to refer to as you need. Aurora Klee, Color Theory, an excerpt. Gamut, a dissertation on color theory by Aurora Klee, Universitat Bern, in collaboration with the Geneva Center for the Arts. Abstract. The paper further explores the underlying principles of color theory as first postulated by Leonardo da Vinci. Following a detailed examination of chromatic and monochromatic scales and values, the author explicates the value difference between additive and subtractive colors. That in pigmentation, colors are subtractive, each color mixed with another subtracts value, and that all colors mixed together creates black. On the other hand, additive color theory, based on light waves, sees new colors created by adding basic colors to other basic colors, and that all colors mixed together give white. The final theory presented in the paper is the theory of tension, or that the energies of colors operate in tension to one another, i.e., that while we may perceive standalone colors, there's no such thing as a standalone color. All colors emanate either from destruction or creation. The author posits that, on a subconscious level, our brains recognize these powerful exchanges of energies in the interactions of colors, and this is what we respond to, not to the colors, pigmentation or light wave, themselves, but to the energies that emanate from the creative and destructive aspects of their very existence.
Okay. So it's a bunch of mumbo jumbo about color.
Yes, this is fascinating, as that is very close to what I have been studying. Colors.
In association with your
Computer, yes. With everything, really, that I'm studying. It's a lot to get into right now. We don't have to get into all the details.
Uh-huh.
What do these colors have to do with anything of this, though?
That is what I've yet to figure out. But the fact that they are sending this message with this paper on colors, that something's going on.
Mm-hmm.
There's been no real contact since then, and we don't really have a means of entering the facility. The computer requires an obscene amount of energy to run, and so the pyramid was built with that in mind. There is a small nuclear reactor that is buried deep beneath it, and the building itself was built to sustain a nuclear meltdown, and so it is quite impenetrable.
Wouldn't say impenetrable, but sturdy.
You have deeper insight on that?
Well, a couple of my own dissertations ended up with ways of using nuclear power to get in and out of things. A temporary influx of energy will cause a small shutdown. Enough time for us to possibly get in.
Are you talking about sort of electromagnetic pulse?
In layman's terms, yes.
I'm not certain we have the means of providing.
Well, that's the
Something
reason why
of
you
that
called
sort.
me, am I correct?
Well, it's one of them. We were mostly hoping that you would be able to tell us if this was caused by the nuclear reactor and if there's danger inside.
Well, the sooner we get in, the faster we can figure that out.
Well, how about we take you down and go take a look at the door, and you can...
What a great place to start.
A doorway is always a great place to start.
Dr. Muir, would you mind just giving me a copy of this paper, the dissertation?
Oh, absolutely. Here, we have a printout, and pulls out those print, and he pulls out the on the sides, the little, the little holes that the wheels would used to put in. He rips those out, and he hands you the...
Lovely. I'm going to just take some time to read through this, if you all wouldn't mind continuing to discuss.
Absolutely. Also, do you happen to have a blueprint of this brainchild of yours, Ailey?
We do. And he starts rummaging through his things, pulls out a huge binder, puts it in front of you. Dr. Shaw, would you give me, please, whilst you're reading all that and diving into this, a first test? Our first test of the night. Go ahead, if you would, and give me a intelligence plus occult.
Ooh, good dice pool for me. Okay, intelligence, occult. Let's see, 5 successes.
Excellent. Hey, thank you so much, Catchy Cantrips, for the raid. Running hot with the raid. We are playing a little World of Darkness game here, adjacent to our Vampire the Masquerade series. Thank you so much for coming in. Hello, Maz. Nice to see you. As you are going through the papers, you see this image again, this color wheel done by Dr. Klee, and as you stare at it, you hear in your head, Dr. Shaw, are you coming? We need you.
Do I recognize the voice?
When you were young, you used to go somewhere in your head. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. My own Arcadia. My own place where I could just talk to my mother. Is that the voice that I hear?
The voice that you hear is the voice that you heard back then, yeah.
That is good to know. You see Ailey just as she's reading through these papers and hears this voice in her head. Just pause. She may even say this out loud. Yes. Yes. I am.
Use the colors. And the colors create the portal. Use the colors, and I will let you in. I need to know that it's you.
The colors, yes.
As you're contemplating that, what are the rest of you doing?
So, Dr. Kilgrave, you have any theories on what's going on, I guess?
I'm afraid things of the nuclear persuasion are a bit outside of my purview, but it does sound like we have some potential occult at work, actually. And she'll look to Muir. What exactly is it that has been combined with the technologies down there?
Dr. Shaw would be better placed than I to explain this. I am not versed in occult matters, but my understanding is that Dr. Shaw's capacity with life and healing magics have been a crucial part of the development of her theories and of the practices that Arcadia was built to put into play.
I see.
Yes, sorry, I was a bit distracted, as Ailey's kind of like half listening to the conversation going on right now. Perhaps I can give you all just a quick rundown of my work and my skills. Yes, I am a bit more, what's the right word? Sensitive than your average person when it comes to matters of understanding the world around us. Awakened, maybe one would say. And I discovered this while at time I was working on my own projects as a doctor, as a behavioral science doctor. And that's when I realized that colors, they mean something more than just what we see. Colors can activate and control emotions that we all feel and see and think. Think about certain colors when you see them. The color red. What does that invoke in you? I ask you now. When you see the color red, what do you think of?
Stop. Like a stop light? Or stop
Yes.
sign?
Something more than just that.
Possibly anger.
Yes.
Anger,
Yes.
passion, sex. It's also going to depend on the, well, if you look at the various cultures, the various sorts of magic that folks believe in all across the world, colors have very specific meanings for different manner of intention.
Yes, exactly. So that's really what it is. Colors, they're not real, they're perceived by us. And so when you think of that color, when you perceive that color, that can create that emotion that you're feeling. So
Right. I think I get what you're saying. I respect everyone here in this room. I'm not as well versed, I guess, in the far out studies, I guess, that you guys are into. But I'm gonna try and follow as best as I can because I want to take this seriously. So using your life magic study, you're trying to heal people with color? Is that what I'm getting?
Yes, in a matter of speaking, yes.
Okay.
But it's not... The gifts that I have alone haven't really been able to do much. We needed more. That's why we've put together this computer, this system to take my theories of color and really put them to practice and help people.
So you taught a computer color theory?
Think of it this way, says Dr. Muir. The rays of the sun warm us. If we magnify them through the use of a lens, they can actually set wood on fire. That is the concept here, to use technology, i.e. the lens, to magnify the power that already exists in the color's light waves, to use as therapy of sorts, but a very aggressive form of therapy that would force the brain to alter what it's doing, so that someone in the grips of a mania could, by being exposed to a certain color of light that they respond to, find themselves be able to step back or see their brain calm down and step away from whatever is causing the mania in some ways.
Well, that would sure be nice, if that worked.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we were very close to getting it to work.
But as of right now, just so I'm following correctly, we've created a large computer and started to teach it that study, and now 26 people have disappeared.
And one gentleman is dead. Let's not forget.
Who was also working on this project.
Yes, but what happened to my partner, that may or may not be correlated to what has happened.
But the may is what we need to also keep into consideration
and also,
here.
The possibility of using your color theory as a way of healing could also possibly send someone, let's say, into mania?
That is what we were trying to help. If somebody was having some sort of episode, we could use colors like blues or yellows to calm them. Green.
But do you not see where teaching a supercomputer how to manipulate emotions could also in turn twist and go the opposite way, correct?
This computer, it's programmed by us. It's not like it has a mind of its own.
Of course not. Of course not, no. Pardon me.
Look, when you have work that can help people, you will stop at nothing to make sure that you can help those people. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to help people.
Great. I hope that works. I think that's a really good cause that you're working for.
I don't expect everybody to understand it.
No. Look. I don't. People didn't understand that the Earth was round before they learned it. So sometimes we can't comprehend things. That doesn't mean it's not valuable research.
Are you comparing my work to those of flat earthers?
No. I'm comparing the intelligence level of the general populace to be that of people that don't quite understand things until they have proper education on what they're being taught. Don't worry, I'm not trying to diminish you. I promise. I'm here to make sure that we get through this, okay? So, with everything that we have right now, we're just trying to get through the front door?
That would be a good start, yes.
Great.
Dr. Shaw,
Great.
Yes.
your partner. Do you have a physical description of him?
What did Dr. Kerr look like?
Dr. Kerr's currently on screen right now. He was a middle-aged man with thinning hair, a bit of a 5 o'clock shadow, glasses. Usually wore tweed jackets and knit vests over shirts. He had an easy smile and a kind face, and was usually seen laughing or in good humor.
Storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
Does that match the description of what I'm seeing behind Dr. Shaw?
Not in the least, and as you're looking at it, you start seeing a shimmering blue color throughout this figure that you're seeing. And as you look at it, the figure raises its eyes and looks straight at you. Barl, you absolute madman. 16 subs. Jesus, Barl.
Hey.
Great, Barl.
I'm gonna have to marry you now. Amazing, Barl. Thank you so much, man. You're always the best. Yeah, it looks straight at you, and it's very indistinct and very difficult to see, and it starts to move towards you. It goes through Dr. Shaw, and it slowly starts to move towards you. Nobody else is seeing this. No one is reacting to it, but it's approaching you. What do you do?
For everyone else at the table, you see Dr. Kilgrave's eyes go unfocused after she asks Dr. Shaw about her partner. She's focused on something that seems to be moving closer, and Storyteller, I'm not going to move. I'm going to let it make contact.
And it approaches you and slips into you, and you feel that same feeling you felt before in such occasions of something entering just beneath your flesh everywhere around your body, almost like a second skin slipping in under yours, and you feel it wrap you up completely. And as the rest of you watch, you see Dr. Kilgrave look up, open their mouths, and out of it, without the mouths moving, come the following words. You belong to me, Ailey.
Who are you?
And you see Dr. Kilgrave fall to the ground.
Dr. Kilgrave, are you all right?
I go to check her body.
When you get to Dr. Kilgrave, you pick her up, and you can see that Dr. Kilgrave is coming to, the eyes are fluttering. When you grab them, sorry.
I'm just saying, hey, go on.
You grab them and instinctively reach for their wrist, and as you do for quite a moment, you don't feel a pulse there.
Shit.
Enough that you readjust your grip, and still no pulse, and Dr. Kilgrave is clearly coming to and looking at you, and then slowly the pulse comes back. Very faint.
Are you okay?
What happened?
Do you not remember anything that just happened to you?
I remember asking Dr. Shaw about her partner. And then everything sort of went black.
Right, you lost your pulse there for a sec.
More importantly, your voice. You said some things that I don't think you would normally say, Doctor.
What in the bleeding hell did I say?
And at that, Vince looks at Ailey.
I don't know what that was. But they were speaking to me. I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry that this happened to you.
But look, it was probably nothing like crazy, you know? We're all going in here together, right? We're working together. Look, and Dr. Kilgrave, maybe you'll have some more insightful information for us. We just gotta watch out for that happening again.
Or do
Yes.
you wish to be relieved of this duty, Dr. Kilgrave? We can find somebody else.
No. God, no. In the same way that Dr. Shaw tends to be more sensitive to the energies and the life forces around her, I am part of the reason why I became so interested in the occult is that I have always been able to... Gods, I hate this phrase. See past the veil, as it were.
Interesting.
I have heard of these things
Incredible.
before, but I've not fully seen it in practice. That is quite a talent you have.
Talent, nuisance, take your pick.
When you look beyond the veil, what is it that you actually see?
That is the unfortunate thing, dear Vince. As previously stated, I don't remember a goddamn thing. They just sort of find me.
So you didn't see whatever it was that just took you over?
There was something pale and ephemeral behind you for a moment.
Do you usually lose your heart rate when you have these episodes? Is that a normal thing that I should anticipate with this, or I just want to make sure that that I just know what I'm dealing with.
To be perfectly honest, I've never actually had anyone check after the fact. So it's entirely possible.
Great.
Well, Luke
Vince
says,
is laughing at this.
Luke says if Dr. Kilgrave is good to go, I would suggest that we're not going to get through the door in any way, shape, or form by staying here. So perhaps relocating down and taking a look at the situation firsthand might give us some insight as to what we need to do.
Of course. Given the nature of the disappearances of the... What did you say? It was 23 and 3?
Yes. 26 people. 23 women, 3 men.
If there's anything lingering, it might come to say hello, just forewarning.
Keep my eye out.
Yes.
Shall we get a move on?
Yes. Let me just get everything together. I'll be bringing these with me. And she takes all the papers, puts them in a briefcase. Let's get a move on.
In the meantime, Dr. Kilgrave takes a small bottle of aspirin out of her handbag and just dry swallows 3 of them.
You gather your things. I will say that if there's any specific kind of equipment or gear that your characters would want, you can have it. They're going to provide you with anything you want, so you can just put it on your character sheet. It's fine. You will gather your things, and soon enough, within the next 30 minutes or so, you will be taken by vehicle, by car, in like a little sort of highfalutin minivan with seats and whatnot. You'll be taken to the site. When you arrive at the site, it is currently it looks like a construction site. There's still equipment left behind from the quote-unquote construction of the swimming rink that was supposed to be here for the Olympics, and you drive off the highway and down onto this lot. There's a couple of security guards that recognize the van and talking to a radio and open the gates, and you drive through. And when you go in, you drive down a ramp and you find yourselves in what would be kind of an underground parking garage. In the car, as you pull up, Dr. Mew says, "This is where I'll be leaving you, but hopefully we will be able to stay in touch while you're in there. We have some radios. You might also be able to use the telephones that are inside the building. We, of course, will be monitoring this place for as long as you are in there, and we'll stand ready to assist you. We do have some contingency plans that are currently being worked on to try and enter the building and if there is any issues, but make no mistakes, you will very likely be on your own once you step through, if you manage to step through at all."
Yes, thank you, Julian, for your help so far. It's very much appreciated.
You get out of the vehicle. Luke picks up a backpack and a suitcase of gear, and a lot of you probably also have like a sling bag or something, whatever, a suitcase or whatnot. You got a tachyometer to read to see if there's any radiation, of course, with you. It's completely, there's nothing going on right now. It's completely down. You will take a small elevator down what feels like maybe 2 floors down. When the doors open, you are at one end of a very long corridor. It is gray carpeting, and the corridor itself is made of cement, and it's just this long corridor, and you realize you're going through an outer containment wall that is there to prevent radiation from leaking out. So there's quite a huge amount of cement, and all of a sudden you're feeling that weight and that pressure of this building all around you. And as you approach the other end of this thing, you see just this completely blank white plastic wall. You can see what might have been the faint outline of a door in it at some point, but as you approach it, it doesn't move, it doesn't do anything, and the controls that are next to it are completely sort of dead. Everything's got that kind of 70s retro futuristic look, so it's got a bit of a sci-fi kind of futuristic look, but as imagined in the 70s, the way things were sort of seen then. However, as you approach, you do notice something that changes as Dr. Shaw approaches the wall, the white wall. You see spreading out along the wall this color that looks almost like paint that is spreading on the surface of the plastic, and it creates this strange kind of color wheel that is about maybe 3 feet across, kind of at head height. And it spreads out as Dr. Shaw approaches it, and eventually it stops spreading out. And Luke says, "I don't think it's ever done this before."
No, it is not. This is fascinating. The colors will let us in. Yes, exactly.
Give me a occult and intelligence roll again, Dr. Shaw, please.
Yeah, let's see. Intelligence, occult. Ooh, I only rolled 2 successes. I'm going to use a willpower to
Reroll three.
re-roll. Yeah, because I have quite a good dice pool for this. Let's re-roll 3. 2 additional successes, so 4 total.
As you approach it, you remember the voice in your head, Arcadia, telling you to use the colors, and you remember all this theory that you read. And as you approach it, you realize that it looks like pigment and not light waves. It's got that texture of pigment, even though it's kind of feels like it's part of the thing. And as you reach out and touch it, you realize that you can move it around almost as if it's paint or sand, almost maybe. And as you move it, it moves with your hand, and it doesn't stain or color your hand, and it doesn't lift off the side of the wall. And as you start moving the colors around, you suddenly instinctively understand the subtractive qualities of pigment. And as you start mixing them together, you see the colors start to darken. And as you're adding more and more colors, it's creating this kind of swirling pattern of color. And at the center of it, where all the colors are meeting and mixing, it's starting to turn black. And as you watch, suddenly the colors start to spiral. And a lot of you watch this as the colors start to spiral, and the entire thing starts to grow. And what you see as you watch not what I want to do.
Oh.
As you watch, the colors start to swirl, and as they swirl, they start to turn paler and darker. And the center of it is this pure black void. And as the colors start to change and turn into white, disappearing in front of your eyes, this iris at the center of it grows and grows and grows until it's about 5 feet across. And the pattern stops moving.
Incredible. This directly relates to the dissertation on color theory, that colors all mixed together create black. We're seeing it before our very eyes. Do you not and she's going to reach forward into this black.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa.
Going to put her hand forward.
Do you think that is wise?
What do people do?
I'm not going to do a goddamn thing. I want to see what happens.
I quite literally just asked, do you think that's wise? Do your own thing, Ailey.
I'm not moving. That is a lot of things happening. That is too big for my little brain. Flat earther over here, I guess. That's a lot. What? Whoa! Whoa!
You reach in, Dr. Shaw, and as you do, your hand slips in as if it was liquid. This pitch black liquid, and it's the black of light, the complete absence of light. It's the black of void. Vince, as you watch this, you feel a certain familiarity with it from some of your own occult investigations and interests. There is a slight sense of familiarity with this void at the heart of this spiral. And as you watch Dr. Shaw putting her hand through it, it disappears as if in liquid, but liquid that is standing there, upright. The sensation is the same as Dr. Shaw when you your skin is moist, perhaps from sweating after a workout or something like that, and you get a cool breeze on it. There's that cold that makes the hairs on your skin stand up, and your skin starts to get those goosebumps. And your arm just disappears, and you've pushed it through all the way to the elbow, and everything feels the same along that arm. Do you continue?
It feels the same, like the gooey ooziness, or do I feel like I can feel my arm?
You feel, actually, it feels as if, here's a better explanation of it. It feels as if you had just submerged your arm in really cool sand.
Okay.
Sand art.
I'm gonna keep going.
Dr. Shaw,
Yes.
is it cold?
Does it feel? Yes, it does. It
feels
does feel
cool,
cool. Yes.
yeah.
It's cool to the touch. Yes.
Storyteller,
Yes.
I have a theory about what this might be, given my research and my knowledge of certain unnatural things in this world.
Sorry, say that again. Sorry, I can't do two things at once.
I have a theory about what this could potentially be, given my knowledge of the occult and the preternatural things in this world.
And what would that be?
There are talk of creatures that are able to control and tap into pure darkness.
I would say adjacent.
Some call it Umbra.
Interesting.
It feels, like I said, like, you know, it's
So
certainly in the family.
yes. So I'm gonna keep extending my arm and maybe like more of my body. I'm not gonna like fully just dive in, but
You keep
I'm going to keep extending.
pushing through. Your arm gets swallowed, your shoulder, part of your chest. You realize you now have to put a leg in or push your head through.
Is there another side to this, or
I look to them and I say, "You'll have to follow me."
No.
If just this is the only way in.
You can't go inside and then press the button on the inside to open it. We have to color dive.
There's no buttons.
What do you mean there's
How do you get in normally? Is this how it always is?
Every time you've come here, there's been a door there, and you would approach, and it would read your palm, and then the door would sort of, kind of push out of the wall, and then slide over to the side.
My colleagues, this is only the beginning of what we may experience inside. The fact that the door that used to be here is no longer existing means that whatever is inside of this building, it is. This is only the beginning. That's why you all have been asked to be here. To deal with things beyond what we can normally experience. You have to trust the process. You have to experiment. That's the only way to get through. And she's going to go on in.
As you push through, you see Dr. Shaw be swallowed by this, and as Dr. Shaw goes through, at the end, it sort of creates a little bit of a, an indentation, and whoop, it kind of pops up again, kind of like liquid, definitely more than sand. Dr. Shaw, as you go through, there is a moment as you step through this where you feel and see nothing. You are kind of conscious of moving, but you're also surrounded by nothingness. You have never in your life felt such a lack of external stimuli as you do now. You don't feel anything on your skin, you don't see anything, you don't hear anything, you don't smell anything. It is literally, and this is the idea that pops in your mind, like being in the womb. Just floating in darkness, not completely existing yet. Not knowing what's out there, what's around, not understanding, not even really, you start to realize, being aware of yourself. Fear shoots through you. Give me a stability check.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All right.
For those keeping track at home, the stability check is similar to a hunger check, where in this case, Tracy's going to roll a d10, and 6 to 10, Tracy's fine. Below that, she's not. She's going to lose a stability.
Ooh, yeah, that's a 1, so 0 success.
You feel something change inside of you. There is a little bit of that assurance that comes with knowing things, of being educated, of having experience, of being prepared for things, that all of a sudden you doubt. You feel doubt. Doubt seeps into your mind, and all of a sudden you think this was the worst mistake you could have made. You should not have come in here. You should not have stepped in here. What the fuck were you thinking? And then all of a sudden you fall on the other side, and when you do, it's as if you're being ejected from water. You go and you take a breath and you fall on the other side on the floor, and there's nothing on the ground. There's no water, liquid, or sand or anything like that. You find that you were obviously not breathing. You are fighting to catch your breath. And as you do, you sense something around you, something taking notice of you, something being happy to see you. Outside.
All right. I'm here to protect. I'm going in. I walk.
You walk through. As you step through, you feel a sense of comfort come over you. You feel as if for the first time in your life, you're where you should be. You're where you belong. It feels like home. You exult in it. You love, thrill at every moment without stimuli, every moment where you are nothing. There is such peace, the likes of which you've never known. Give me a stability check also, please.
That is a success.
As you bask in this, you hear, how did you get here? How did you find me here? Is there nowhere I can go that you won't follow me? You recognize Nora's voice. Why are you always haunting me? Why are you always after me? Can't you just leave me alone?
No.
You've taken everything. You took everything. And you still want more.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. It's not over yet, Nora. It's not over yet.
You're right.
Soon.
Not soon enough. And Dr. Shaw, you watch as Lena comes sliding out of this black hole and just almost in slow motion falls to the ground with grace. A smile on her lips.
You've trusted the process.
That was fucking weird. It was fucking weird.
It'll only get weirder.
Great. I guess that's what I'm in for.
You see coming through next, Luke steps through and falls to the ground, and he looks shaken. His eyes are wide. His skin is clammy. Ugh. Fucking Christ, what the fuck was that? Calista tabarnak.
Don't worry, you've made it
See.
in one piece.
Fuck. But at what cost? Holy fuck. And he scrambles up and he sits up and he puts his back against the wall and he's like, he looks like he's like ready to almost have a heart attack. He's shaking. God, why do you look so fucking happy?
Because this is an incredible thing that we've just experienced.
Fuck. I could have fucking done without it.
I agree.
Who's next?
I hope the others make it across. And they turn around and leave.
I'm gonna look at Vince. I'm gonna do one of these.
Vince has not looked past this void, and it almost feels like after seeing the other three go through, they're being pulled to it. So their feet are moving without their purview. And without even like looking back at Cassidy, they walk straight into it chest first, full on into the void.
You step into the darkness and find yourself immediately on the other side, standing looking at the three of them sprawled on the ground. You literally feel as if you just stepped through a door.
Why are you all on the... Is everything okay? Did you trip or fall, or...
Luke's looking up at you like, what the fuck, man? That didn't fuck you up?
It was like I was walking through a door. What is the issue? I thought that's the same thing you all felt.
That was good for you?
Interesting.
Neither good nor bad. Was it bad for you?
It certainly was a bit of a trip.
Interesting.
Uncomfortable, at least.
Can I turn around and look at this void?
When you turn around, you see Cassidy on the other side. There is no void, there's just an open doorway. The rest of you still see that strange, dark void. You watch Cassidy on the other side. What's Cassidy doing on the other side?
There's a sigh. And a shake of the head. And then I'll just step through. So dramatic.
Interesting.
As you step through into the darkness, there is a moment of peace, of quietude. There is a moment where there is nothing, and then suddenly you are beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of human. No, you're beset on all sides by a swirling maelstrom of ghosts. There are dozens and dozens of them, and they swirl around you, and they're not touching you, but they're swirling around you, and they're lamenting your name as you step through. And it's as if they're singing a funeral song, like they're lamenting your death, and you feel like they're telling you that you have to let go now, and you have to come home. You have to let go, and you have to come home to where you're supposed to be. You're not supposed to be here this way. You're doing something wrong. Give me a stability check.
That is a success.
Excellent. It does not weigh on you as you step through this. These are things you've seen before, and experienced before. Never maybe in such a so much of it at the same time, but it doesn't have too much of a negative effect. You come through on the other side and stumble, and as you stumble through without falling, Vince is there, and Vince kind of catches you and holds you up for a second. And as he does, the two of you, for a moment, feel a deep sense of familiarity with each other. Like you've known each other for a long time.
Just sort of squint at Vince.
What? And
Are you
starting to like look at myself like, do I have what's wrong?
Nothing. Deja vu, I think.
Are you all right? Is everything okay? Everybody's in one piece, so that's good.
Yes.
Can I still see out?
Yes, you can.
I'm going to cautiously walk towards what this looks like a door and sort of see if I can either push through or if I can just walk through freely.
You can just
at this
walk
point.
through freely.
What do we
With
see?
the briefest, you see him, same as with the others. You see them step through and be absorbed in this darkness, but without feeling like they're being dragged into it or whatever. They just walk through very nonchalantly almost. And for you, Vince, it's really just walking back and forth through the door, even though when you're on the outside you see it as this swirling dark portal, but once you step through on this side it looks like a regular open door.
When he walks through and is on the other side, I thought we were done with this. I thought this was all just okay. All right. Turns back around, and as they're walking through and comes out, is like screaming and panicking, like, okay, all right, I don't want to do that again.
You testing
do
some
not.
theory? Why did you do?
What are you doing?
I was trying to see if let's hurry. Let's get through this. And he's like flinching.
All right.
Whatever.
As you turn around, you see where you have landed. You are in a kind of reception area to the building or the pyramid. There is a long, wide corridor. Everything is lit by these recessed halogen lights that are behind these white plastic covers on the ceiling. So all the light comes from the top, but then is reflected by the extremely white floor also. The floor feels like kind of like plastic, but it's clearly not plastic. The walls are cement also. There are these little red futuristic-ish kind of chairs that look absolutely not comfortable in the least. You've been here, Dr. Shaw. You know this is what the entrance hall of this place looks like. The thing that gets to you is the eerie quiet. It is absolutely dead quiet. There's not the hum of the fluorescence. There's not the hum of machinery. There is nothing. It is literally as if there has never been anything in here before.
This is just... It's almost kind of sad to be in here now. There used to be life here. There used to be activity, people. It's all gone now. There's nothing. It's eerily quiet.
Storyteller.
Yes.
Is there actually nothing, or just nothing that most people can see?
There is actually nothing.
Oh.
Interesting.
Well, we have the blueprints, and I know mostly where we need to go. At least to get to the computer.
You start walking down the hallway. Your footsteps are echoing throughout the entire place. It's as if your footsteps are traveling all the way down the hall and then coming back to you. It's this very strange feeling of being in an abandoned place, but there's no dust, there's nothing like that. It just really feels like the place is sort of in suspended animation or something. You eventually approach a desk, which would be the reception area. And as you do, you notice that the computer screen that's there is flickering and that there's something that appears on it once in a while.
What's this? It's still working. What's on the screen?
As you look at it, you see the words, "Please reboot," flash on and off as the screen itself kind of is snowy and kind of jumps around. As you check this out, you notice something else that draws your attention. There is on the desk a notebook that appears to be like a call log the secretary would use to note who's called. The last entry is from September 1st, 1976. And as you look at the notebook, you see at the top it says, Monday, September 1st, 1976, call log, 13:13 p.m. Call from R4 R Halford from, and then a list of numbers. 011100110011001. You recognize Morse code for SOS, or binary code, sorry, for SOS. And then beneath it are the following words: there is no light. Beneath it, there is no. Beneath it, there is. Beneath it, there. And beneath that, just a period. Various black triangle inverted are scrawled on the other page.
You see Ailey just like staring at this notebook and take a look at this. And she brings it up from the desk to show everybody this message that there is no light. There is no there dot. This is not normal, and this is an SOS call. September 1st. And today, today's date is
The 13th.
the 13th. Okay.
So almost 2 weeks ago.
And we only got this call that like everybody got missing just like a couple of days ago, right?
Yep. So
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't want to. I think this is a me error. That should be September 7th.
Ah.
Ha ha ha.
All right.
It was we was gonna go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
We were about to derail the whole damn
Yeah,
thing on
like,
the wrong.
wait a minute. This doesn't add up.
Storyteller, I would like to walk behind the receptionist desk and do what the computer is requesting to be done.
You reach out to reboot a computer. While that's being done, I would ask the others to give me investigation checks, please.
I was gonna ask. Yeah, I want to look into what's going on. What kind of investigation?
Would be wits plus investigation.
Great.
You hit the reboot button, Dr. Kilgrave, and nothing happens. The computer stays on, and you notice as you kind of look around that there's no power to the computer.
As in, it's not plugged in?
As in, it's plugged in, but the lights aren't on. There's no juice coming to it.
Well, then I'm going to unplug it and plug it back in. That's Tech 101, right?
You unplug it, plug it back in, and the computer screen goes black and starts to reboot.
Exactly. Tech 101.
What are the results on the investigation checks meanwhile?
I used a willpower and I got 4 successes.
Ooh.
I got 3 successes.
2.
Okay. Dr. Kilgrave, as the computer reboots, there's this, the screen comes back on, and then there's like writings, just like, you know, the software sort of coming on and all that. And for a moment, one of the lines, you think you saw your name in one of the lines of code that scrolls by. You, Vince, as you are taking a look around, you notice that there is a clock on the desk. One of those clocks with the numbers that flip, like that little, you know, flip thing. It reads 1313. The clock on the wall also reads 1313. Dr. Shaw, you notice as you put the notebook down, the cup of coffee next to it is steaming.
Interesting.
And as Dr. Shaw puts the notebook down, Lena, you see written in tiny letters in the bottom corner, "It should have been me, -N."
Interesting notes.
Yes. I'm not sure. Obviously, something was going wrong, and they were probably sending out some sort of distress call. This coffee, it's still hot. There's something interesting here.
So someone's here?
I don't know if someone is here. Something is here.
Okay, something's here making coffee, so it can't be anything that's too freaky, right?
When you say and Vince kind of like reaches for their head and they've got like a slight headache. What time was it when we came in here?
Late afternoon.
But not 1313, right?
No.
Interesting.
So the clock stopped.
And that's
Yes, and it should not have.
And this call log as well was at 1313. That must have been when everything...
Stopped.
Yes.
But that doesn't explain why this coffee is still hot if they've been gone for 3 days.
I'm used to manipulating my own gifts. If I need to keep my tea hot, I'm able to do that. This is not far off from some of my capabilities.
Or, for some reason, even though it's been 3 days, the coffee simply hasn't lost any heat.
And it may have been 3 days for us, but possibly in here it has only been a minute.
What?
Lena. Lena.
Hold on. If time isn't progressing, then how would we have walked in the building?
So if there is a radiation leak of sorts, it might be minute enough that our technologies aren't able to perceive it, but it might have caused some sort of anomaly.
Okay.
Yes.
A little bit away from you, further down the corridor, Luke is there and his head's cocked and he says, "Do any of you hear this?"
Hear
Or
what?
what?
You're breathing?
And as he mentions, no, that was just me being too close to the mic. As he, welcome to Bleak ASMR. You can hear it. There is faint music playing somewhere far off.
Music. Yes, I hear it.
All right. So someone left the radio on.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna start walking towards where Luke is.
The music that you hear is very strange. It's not like classical music or anything like that. It is music, recognizable as music, but it has a strange kind of pulsing quality to it. So, like, you know, some sort of what we would call today like some sort of really drony music, you know, kind of thing. It's recognizable as music, but it's definitely not made with like woodwind instruments or something like that, and it's just got that kind of feel to it.
Ooh.
This is music?
Something like it.
If anything, it shows that we're maybe not alone here, so maybe we proceed with a little bit of caution.
Look, if it's making coffee, I'll have a cup. That's all I'm gonna say. I need to wake up, you know?
You continue moving down the corridor. You basically find yourself moving along what would be a very standard office corridor. So the corridor's got that kind of space agey look to it. However, the various doors that open up on office spaces around the area have a more standard 70s kind of office space look. Everything is clean, well maintained. You see personal effects, you see pictures, you see tchotchkes, you see different things. It looks for all the world like a very normal office space, except there is an incredible emptiness here. And now with the stopped clock and the coffee still there, you feel even more so a kind of still life quality to it. Almost like you've walked into a painting or a frame from a film. There is a suspended quality to everything around here. And as you move through this office, seeing nothing, no one, Luke comes up to you, Dr. Shaw, and grabs you by the elbow and pulls you aside a little bit. You okay?
I'm taking everything in. But yeah, I'm mostly okay.
There's something I gotta tell you.
Yes.
And I'm only saying this so that you know exactly what's at stake. My orders are to kill all of you if needed, and to make sure that this place is shut down. I am telling you this because I want you to understand how serious the people behind this are, and how it's really important to find an answer if we all want to get out of here alive. I'm also telling you this because I'm not going to kill you. I couldn't. But
Luke,
you need to know that that's the stakes that are here. Whatever's going on here, whatever's happening. Right now, I'm freaking out. I know you can't tell, but I'm freaking out. I've seen some weird stuff. But right now, this is a little bit outside of my experience, so I'm going to be relying on you. But I'm telling you this, Ailey, because I may need to depend on you to tell me if I need to zero everything out, because I may not be able to tell freaky from freaky bad.
she nods and takes like a big gulp that might be like audible, and I don't think it will. At this point, I don't even know actually if it'll come to that, but I understand. Thank you for telling me. If it does come to that point, the freaky bad where it's something we can't control. I've met a lot of things beyond what the human mind can comprehend, but this is not something I've experienced before. If that time comes, she looks to him, and if I give you this look, that's when you'll know.
That's messed up, because that's the same look you gave me the night you seduced me.
I think it was a bit of a different look.
Noted.
We're not going to die down here, Luke.
We're not.
Do you think they knew what they were getting themselves into and they agreed to this? She looks over to the three of them.
Haley, we work for the shadiest fucking group of people ever. Like, these three look fucking shady to me. I don't know them. I read their file. They're sus as fuck, but I assume that they're here because they know what they're doing and they can be counted on to do it. So.
Yeah, well, I guess we need to do whatever it takes. That's always what I've said. It's whatever it takes. It'll be done.
You can trust me.
She, like, kind of just squeezes his arm a bit. And before the other three get too suspicious of them talking, she'll walk over and continue forward.
You move on further down the corridor. According to the plans, you're coming up on the room where the first access point for Arcadia is. And as you walk by, I would need all of you except for Dr. Shaw to give me an awareness roll. Everyone except Dr. Shaw.
Awareness straight or
awareness and wits, sorry.
I need both.
Both?
I need both.
I'm gonna use a paradox.
Whoop, whoop. Woof, me too.
not I.
Not high,
And Bleak, that's just a reroll?
If you use a paradox point, first of all, if you want to use it after the fact, you have to spend 2. That gives you 2 dice, or you can spend a willpower and reroll 3 failed dice.
Screw it, we're gonna reroll.
All right.
Question actually on willpower.
Did
How
you-
often are we refreshing that?
Not often.
Not often.
It's a very rare. That's why you have paradox coins to help out a little bit.
Yeah, all right. I will take my
You have
110
to-
and sit with it.
You have to act in accordance to your nature to restore some of it, and some other things can. You'll get some back at some point, but it's definitely a rarer thing. Are you activating the thing you told me you wanted to activate?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
Preferably earlier, but
I got you. So go ahead and add 2 dice to your roll then.
Fantastic. Also, I'm at 0 paradox die because I called after the roll. Okay. That's not, because it's a crit, not a messy crit, so that's 4.
All right, 4. You had 4 also, Vince, right?
I did.
And Laura?
I
Okay,
used
Sneasha.
willpower and still only got 2.
All right. As you're walking through the offices and sort of looking around, Vince, you notice one of the typewriters, kind of strangely, has this when you walk by it.
Oh,
Convenient.
Instructions. I go to roll it back to see if they've already finished anything.
They have. And underneath it, line after line of line after line after line, says, "Kill them all."
Immediately crumples the paper.
oh,
I sorry, habit.
How long's that crumpling?
Unfurls it, and are we sure that that they're missing? Because what I've just read does not give missing, and I show it to everybody.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
see, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. That's what I thought when people disappear at first. I thought that's what that meant. So this kind of aligns with what I was thinking.
It's just not as much blood as I would have assumed.
You don't need blood to kill somebody.
She's
Suffocation,
right. Poison.
X, poison. There we go. Thank you.
Radiation, fair enough. Absolutely.
Yep. Here we are.
all right. We can't assume anything just yet, just because this says this. We need bodies still. We need to find out what's happened. If they're dead, where are they?
Well, I mean, considering everybody disappeared, and then has anybody checked? They could still just be here.
Yes.
This is a big place.
With your role, Lena, you hear the sound of typing and someone humming.
I just start moving wherever that is.
All right, and I will follow.
A lot of
Cautiously
you
same.
cautiously move down. You arrive.
I put my hand on my gun too.
You arrive in. You see a door ahead. It's marked computer room, and as you approach, the rest of you start hearing also this sound. And as you approach the door, you can clearly hear someone in that room typing away and sort of mumbling and talking to themselves.
I pull out my gun.
You see that Luke's got one also. He's kind of keeping watch behind since you got the front.
Can I peek around this door? We haven't been detected at this point, yeah?
It seems so. Give me a stealth roll. Dexterity plus stealth.
God, this sheet is so new to me. Where is everything? There you are. Okay. Where am I? All blanks. I got a gun. I'm not afraid.
You lean in, and as you do, your gun hits the side of the door, and it does a little clang sound. And
shit.
The person inside looks over their shoulder, and you see, oops, ow, what the hell happened? Oh, we'll fix this very quickly if you give me 1 second. I put the same piece of art twice.
It's more colors. Run!
More colors, run. The colors are everywhere. Colors.
That damn gay agenda.
Damn it, Keon.
I'm still got the gun.
That was good. That was good.
Broke me. I did so good up until that point.
So good. You see a man, fairly young, probably in his early 30s, in a blue suit, buttoned up, a tie, stepping away, and as you lean in and knock the door, he looks over and goes, "Well, you got here a little faster than I expected." Keeps typing. He's at the computer, typing away.
I look like I meant to alert him to us being here.
Okay, no problem.
And stand up, readjust. Yeah. You expected us?
I expected someone.
I see. Who are you?
The adjuster.
That really says so much. Would you care to elaborate on what that means? You got like a first last name? Is that just a title?
A function?
I put the gun away. All right. So, what do you mean?
What are the rest of you doing at this particular point? There's this discussion going on.
I'm looking at Dr. Shaw.
100% eyes on Dr. Shaw.
Dr. Shaw will head toward the room and just like look in. And does she recognize this individual, the adjuster?
No, you've never seen him before in your life. He's
Interesting.
flying away on the computer, punching in code.
I'm sorry, how did you get authorization to be in here?
Oh, I gave it to myself. I
And
found
what is
that
it-
in life you kind of have to grab the bull by the horns once in a while and just go for it.
What is it exactly that you're adjusting?
The situation, of course, is a real mess.
Ah,
And
I
that-
see.
As he's typing, you're seeing your
You-
file kind of come up on the screen. Dr. Shaw, are you?
That is I.
Oh,
Yes.
you made all of this, didn't you? Hmm.
Takes more than one person, but yes.
Oh, well, you know, I guess you didn't know what you were doing. But now we're going to stop it and everything's going to be great.
Who exactly sent you, Mr. Adjuster, sir?
My employers.
Your employers?
Yes.
We don't happen to work for the same employers, do we?
I don't think so. I work for the Seers of the Throne. You?
Mm-mm. Interesting name.
Is there any kind of, like, does that name mean anything to anybody?
I would say actually Dr. Shaw can roll an occult and an intelligence.
Okay. Let's see. Okay.
I think I read about them in a fiction book once.
3 successes?
They are much like you belong to a tradition called the Verbena. They are another tradition, and they tend to be very much anti-magic.
Oh dear. Okay.
Okay.
I see.
So look, you got us all in a bit of a pickle here, but thankfully for you, I'm here. So I'm going to just adjust the situation. We're going to solve it. And really, there's not much for you to do. You can just turn around and leave if you want, or you can hang out. It's going to take me a little while. This computer is something like... It's given me a lot of resistance. It's almost like it doesn't want me to do what I need to do. I don't suppose you have some sort of... passkey or something, that cheat code that would kind of expedite the matter.
Unfortunately not, as I don't work with technology much.
Well, all right, we'll just do it the hard way. He keeps typing away. What were you here for? Were you trying to go downstairs?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, no, that's not a good idea at all.
Why do you say
Why not?
that?
That's not a good... You know what's down there, right?
We are aware of what's down there, yes.
Okay, so you know it's
A
really fucking
nuclear
bad.
reactor.
Oh, because there's a nuclear reactor also down there. Oh, that's fucking great. Oh, that gives me an idea, though.
I'm sorry. Also,
Oh,
Huh?
Absolutely. Also, what do you mean also?
that's great. Oh, God, I wish I'd known this from the beginning. That makes things so easy. This place is secure, right? Like, if that reactor has a meltdown, it's not going to destroy the city or anything, right?
That's what this building was designed for.
Fucking capital. That's great. All right. I don't suppose any of you's a nuclear scientist?
Possibly. Answer the question. What else is down there?
The call.
Use
That
your
is-
words.
the most unhelpful thing I've heard,
Like
possibly
a
all day.
telephone or
No, the call. CAUL. What
Ring,
kind
ring.
of fucking mages are you? Jeez.
We're not. I'm not a
Well-
mage.
I'm not a fucking mage. What are you talking about?
So why are you
okay.
here? Why did they send you?
Hold on. Whoa, hold on. Okay, there's a lot. Sorry, the small brain here. So, what are you doing to the computer? Like,
I'm trying to get access to downstairs.
why? Wait, is the access closed off? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
wait,
the computer's not letting me through. The elevator won't work. And
There are no stairs.
I didn't know that there was a nuclear reactor, which is a great fucking thing, because now we're just going to use that. That's going to be great.
Mm,
Are you planning to destroy the place?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's where we're going with this.
Well, Adjuster, we will leave you to your devices here. The rest of us We don't need an elevator to get down. Well, there's plenty of other... We're mages.
Oh.
We don't need...
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You're gonna go. You're gonna go set off the reactor. Or how are you gonna get rid of it?
We're going to see what's going on with my...
Get rid of what?
Well,
with...
why? I just told you it's really bad.
Have you seen what's happened?
No, I have no clue what happened. I was just told to come here and put a stop to whatever was going on.
Yes, well, we're going to figure out what exactly happened before...
Why? We don't need to. We just need to put a stop to it.
No, we do need to. I'm sorry.
No, we don't need to. Look, Dr. Shaw, you can't... You I don't know what you're trying to do, but you can't go down there and do whatever it is you want to do. Like, if you want to help me bring this place down, that's great.
This is my work. You don't understand. We need to find out what happened to this place. We can't just destroy it without figuring out what exactly is going on. So please, I understand you have your jobs, your orders, whatever it is that you need from whatever seers of the throne. And I don't quite care, to be quite honest. We're going to find out what's happening down there.
Dr. Shaw, your work is a literal portal to hell.
Okay. Hold on. This is too much. Listen, are you gonna give us information and help us, or are you gonna be in our way and be a problem?
Meanwhile, outside a few days later, in the interrogation room, you've been here for hours now. You are tired, hungry. They've given you coffee. That's about it. They might have turned up the heat because you're started to sweat. They keep wanting to know what happened in the pyramid, and you don't know. You went to bed the night before you were supposed to meet everybody. You went to bed and you woke up, and you finally have managed to figure out that it's 6 days later that you've slept for 6 days. And in both rooms, they're investigating. They've changed. There's at least 3 different people that have come since the beginning of this thing. This one, fresh as a daisy. You're not being helpful. We need to know what happened when you went inside the pyramid. What did you see? What happened to Dr. Shaw when you went inside the pyramid?
For fuck's sake. You know, at the very least, if you're going to sit here and play this bad cop bullshit, you could at least bring me a fucking sandwich.
I'll get you anything you want. You want burgers from Mr. Steer? I'll go get them myself. You want a steak from the Bâton Rouge? I'll go get it myself. Or maybe you want some vegetarian. I'll go to Le Commensal and bring you a whole feast of it. I just need to know what happened when you went inside the pyramid.
Would you like to hear it in Spanish?
Sure.
French?
Sure.
Russian?
Sure.
And in Spanish, French, Russian, and a handful of other languages, Dr. Kilgrave says, I don't fucking know, you absolute goddamn walnut.
He sighs. In both rooms, they sigh almost simultaneously. And then they go over to a TV that's in the corner. They take a Betamax tape from a satchel that they have. They slide it in. They push the little thing down. They press play. The image is grainy and kind of snowy for a moment. And then you see what looks like image from what would be a security camera. You recognize Dr. Shaw. You recognize Lena. You recognize Luke. You recognize yourselves stepping into the building. You see yourselves later walking down the corridor. You see the lot of you talking to some guy in a suit in what looks like a computer room. And you see the lot of you approach a door with a sign of a stairwell that goes down. And all of you stepping through and going downstairs. And the man looks at you and says, "What happened when you went inside the pyramid?"
For the 5,000th fucking time, I do not know.
And on that note, my friends, we will end tonight's session of Pyramid.
Oh.
Tune
I
in
knew
next
it.
week
I
when
knew
you hear Cassidy say something in that incredible accent that is faintly insulting to an NPC that is pissing her off.